Hey, what is up, y'all? Welcome back to Mike and JuJu's Movie Corner, the show where we partake, and then as soon as that mood hits us, we turn on the camera and take a trip down memory lane, making sure to shine a spotlight on those cinematic gems that defined our youth. I'm your boy and your host, Mike.
I'm your co-host, JuJu, and today we're diving into the hilarious, the chaotic, the one and only Police Academy.
Hey, that's right, folks. We are talking about that 1984 comedy classic that had us all in stitches growing up. So make sure and grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's roll that opening credit, y'all. So JuJu, what do you remember most about Police Academy?
Oh man, where did I even start? It's got to be the characters, right?
I'd say so.
The diverse bunch of misfits that somehow come together to form an unforgettable team of police officers.
Absolutely. Let's kick things off with the man who started it all. Our main character, Mahoney.
Mahoney, played by the charming Steve Guttenberg, is a young, smart-ass guy who basically stumbles into a police academy to get out of a traffic ticket. Classic 80s movie plot. Am I right?
A very, very likable character. Classic indeed as well. And speaking of classic characters, who could forget Mahoney's sidekick, Lord Vale Jones, played by the legendary Michael Winslow, the master of voices.
Oh, the sound effects guy. He had me laughing every time he did those crazy noises.
Definitely. Hey, and let's not forget about Tackleberry, played by David Graff. He really had a love affair with his firearm that was both intense and a little unsettling.
Oh, Tackleberry. And we can't leave out Leslie Easterbrook as Sergeant Callahan, the only woman in the group holding her own against the boys.
Hey, she really stacked up in the movie.
Stacked up.
Hey, let's not forget about Commandant Lassard, the lovable but bumbling leader of the police academy. He was played by George Gaines, and let's be honest, his performance was a bit over the top, but somehow it really fucking worked, y'all.
Yes, his obliviousness to everything around him was a stroke of genius. Now, let's talk about the plot, Mike. It's a bit out there, even for an 80s comedy.
The basic premise is that a new mayor decides to lower the requirements for joining the police academy. Really smart idea there. In hopes of reducing crime rates. Enter our group of lovable misfits who are the result of those new, relaxed standards.
Right. And we follow these characters as they go through the academy, dealing with their tough drill instructor, Lieutenant Harris, played by G.W. Bailey, who's hell-bent on failing them all.
Hey, Harris is the perfect antagonist, so his stern demeanor, his constant put-downs, really made us root for these heroes even more. And the physical comedy in this movie, man, really was on point.
Magic indeed. But you know what's interesting, Mike? This film was actually a critical and commercial success. It spawned a whole franchise.
Hey, it definitely did. We're talking 7 movies, guys. Can you believe that?
I know, right? It's crazy how a simple concept like this could turn into such a long-lasting franchise. But I guess that's the beauty of the 80s. They knew how to make the movies that were just plain fun.
Hey, and we can't talk about Police Academy without mentioning that soundtrack, can we?
Oh, the soundtrack. It's like the cherry on top of this nostalgic Sunday.
Hey, it really is, JuJu. But we're talking about food. I got the munchies there. And it's not just a theme song. The score by Robert Folk is a classic 80s score that really does set you right back to that decade.
It really does. And it's not just the music. It's the fashion and the hair. Oh, the hair. It's a time capsule of the 80s.
Definitely. You had mullets, you had the high-waisted pants, the ever-cool slap bracelets. You got a little bit of everything in there.
Let's get serious for a moment. While the movie is a comedy, it does touch on some important themes.
Hey, it really does, guys. You got the importance of teamwork, how underdogs can come out on top, and it's a great message for kids growing up in that era, as well as kids today, y'all.
Plus, the film tackles some social issues of the time, like gender and racial equality in the workplace. It was ahead of its time in some ways.
True. It didn't just rely on cheap laughs. It really had a point to it. It had a lot of heart and positive message.
Now, let's talk about the legacy of the Police Academy. It launched the careers of several actors and became a staple of 80s culture.
Hey, it really did. I remember several of those Steve Guttenberg classic movies from the 80s. And it's a movie that's still quoted and referenced to this day, y'all. It's really just embedded in our Gen X brain. Hey, and let's not forget those parodies that inspired shows like Reno 911 and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They really drew a lot of inspiration from this franchise.
It's clear that the Police Academy has left its mark on the comedy genre.
Yes, it has. But what is your favorite scene, JuJu?
Oh, that's tough. But I have to say, the final exam scene where they're all out in the city and havoc ensues. It's just a masterclass in 80s slapstick.
So much shit happens in that final scene. That really is a good one. But for me, it's that scene where they're all doing the obstacle course. And Mahoney always seems to outwit and beat the system, guys. It's a great blend of physical comedy and clever writing, y'all.
It's a classic. But we can't forget about the romance between Mahoney and the young, beautiful Kim Cattrall. It's great chemistry for sure.
Boy, she's a looker. She still is to this day.
It's true that. Now, we've talked about the good, but what about the bad? Did the movie have any flaws?
I mean, this movie damn sure ain't winning any Oscars for its plot or depth, but hey, that ain't what you're looking for when you watch a comedy like this. Some might argue it's a bit formulaic, but I mean, it's a product of its time. When something works, you roll with it.
Absolutely. And the jokes might not all hold up today. Some might find them a bit cheesy or even politically incorrect.
Definitely. But you got to remember the context of the time it was made, and it is a snapshot of 80s humor.
That's true. And I think that's part of the charm. It's a reminder of a simpler, more carefree time in cinema.
Agreed, JuJu, agreed. So, should we do a little trivia for our viewers?
Let's do it. Did you know that the director Hugh Wilson had never directed a feature film before Police Academy?
I did. And did you know he went on to direct other hits like The First Wives Club and the iconic movie Beetlejuice, y'all?
Beetlejuice.
Don't say it again.
What a career! What a career jump! Yeah.
So, JuJu, if you had to sum up Police Academy in one word, what word would you use?
Hilarious. It's just pure, unadulterated 80s hilarity.
I'd have to say classic. It really is a classic of the genre.
Classic 80s hilarity. That works.
Hey, that works. All right, folks. That's all the time we have for today's episode of Mike and JuJu's Movie Corner. Make sure y'all join us next week as we dive into another childhood favorite. Hey, until then, guys, keep those rewinds going on your VHS players. And make sure and stay tuned for more.
Thanks for watching.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe, guys.